Good afternoon. If you wanted today, we brought in Mr. Tyler McIntosh to talk about, well, everything. Tyler used to be, let's see, where did I meet Tyler? Well, probably kindergarten.
Yeah, maybe first
grade, somewhere in there.
It's kind of your kindergarten, my first.
Right, yeah. So he used to sing for the band before Kiefer made us fire Tyler and hire Kiefer in place of him.
Yeah,
So,
hired guy.
So we grew up together, obviously. Tyler, of course, from Tarkio originally.
To be clear, no one was getting paid.
That's true.
You didn't get paid?
Well, that's not. Yeah, so
Shit.
we like to tell Tim everybody was getting paid.
I bought a fur coat with that money. A nice one, too.
I guess I was just going to start, Tyler, briefly. So you're from here. You don't live here anymore. You've had to come back for one project for a while, and then, of course, occasionally we drag you up here to hang out with us. Can you in all honesty, give us your thoughts whenever you do come back.
On the culture around Tokyo?
Or just how it is, or what it's like, or how it feels. I mean,
it's a little bit different every time. You know, it's the rules have changed around Casey's closing hours.
yeah.
You know, Torrey Pines is always under a different name every time I come back, it seems like. Or Dave's is what it originally was.
Well, actually, Torrey Pines was the original.
Was it?
And then when Dave got it, he just kept it Dave's. And then when Nick bought it, he went back to the Torrey Pines.
Okay.
So, like, I remember finding in the house in Westboro a Torrey Pines gas station sign.
No way.
For whatever reason, yeah.
Well, no, I mean, it's largely unchanged, I guess, when I came back for that project that you mentioned. When I came back for that, I was renting out my parents' home that was they'd since moved out of, and I was like living in an empty my empty childhood home, which was wild. But everything around the neighborhood seemed perfectly similar to what it used to. Yeah, I mean, there are small changes here and there, but it's a, I don't know, Tokyo kind of lives in a time bubble where it doesn't change as much as stuff around it.
I do have a follow-up question.
Okay.
Now, why would you go and turn your back on your community and move to Kansas City? Like, I think it's a great place around here, and you just had to go and turn your back on the community.
Yeah, no, I just the kind of jobs that I was after was just just not really available in Tokyo. So,
Did that place in Hamburg close down? You really liked working there?
Yeah, that was it.
I think that was well after he left. And that's because everybody involved died.
I think that we went to Hamburg together one time. And,
Yeah.
No, I moved south.
Never was that a good choice. It always seemed like when you made the decision to go, but why? I don't know. It's the only place open after 2, what's going on after 2 anyway?
Never went. We always talked about going. I was like, I've never heard anything good or fun about it. Let's just go to bed.
Yeah. Well, you guys are way smarter than we were once in a while.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll take that.
So when you're talking about Tokyo being in this time bubble, so for me, because I live here all the time, I feel like it doesn't change at all. So my automatic thought whenever I ask this question is I assume people that aren't here for a while are immediately just like, hadn't changed one bit. It's exactly, you know what I mean? But you probably see more nuance than... It just occurs to me that people that actually leave and come back, more spaced out, probably see more nuance than I do. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Whenever I went to, I mean, I've left and came back so many times. But like, there were some significant changes whenever I left for Maryville and stayed there throughout my college education. I came back and the rental car place across from Casey's was gone, and that was kind of wild. The Pizza Hut was gone.
Yeah.
That was kind of wild.
Yeah.
Trying to get a bit closer.
Yeah. I don't know. The subway happened when I was still in high school, so I mean it was a small change. But like the subway rose and the Pizza Hut fell at the same time.
After a while, yeah. They coincided longer than you think. So Subway, I think,
Maybe so.
we talk about this a lot. I was in junior high, so I would guess you would have been 2001,
I was
something like that.
I mean, I graduated in 2007, so
And Pizza Hut didn't close till it's
I was there for a while.
20.
It's just I
I'm trying to remember if I still worked at Avangrid when it closed or not. It's like 2015,
It's just
16.
wild to me that whenever I came back, it wasn't like the end of the world that Pizza Hut wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody mentioned it. It was fine.
If there wasn't a Casey's with pizza, it would have been the end of the world.
Yeah. No, I was just like so surprised to be like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, like our main food source is gone.
Yeah.
Did you work at Pizza Hut? Did you work at Pizza Hut?
No.
No.
I worked at Hy-Vee for the entire time that I was in Tokyo, and then sometime afterwards.
Well, and his dad was the manager.
Yeah, I know, just inside job.
Yeah,
Is that nepotism?
Yeah.
Yeah. That goes on everywhere here. You can't. That's pretty hard to escape.
I wouldn't. Don't tell him that.
Right.
No, he was a good boss. He was harder on me than he was anybody else.
You're just saying
I
that.
have to say that.
Probably rightfully so.
I have to say that. Because if he ever hears that, he'll kill me.
Tyler was a no good Nick, playing punk rock music.
I did do some shitty things in the Hy-Vee.
I've heard stories.
Well, let's get into them.
Like hide and go seek one time, and I fell through the ceiling.
What?
And he asked me about it like 3 days later, and I was like, dude, I don't know. Wasn't me, man. And he just, I mean, he's a good dad. He believed me.
Yeah. I remember we could occasionally get in there late and get stuff to eat after it was closed. I mean, we would pay for it. We'd go through and ring ourselves up and everything. But yeah.
What?
Yep. That's not the worst thing that's happened at that Hy-Vee. I just want to bring that up. I'm not going into everything, but
Yeah, don't.
and I don't remember. So I don't know if everybody knows this, and I think I had asked somebody and done a little research. But isn't it like one of the first 5 Hy-Vees ever?
I don't know.
Like it was built in like what 78 or
It's
something
one of the
like
oldest
that.
Hy-Vees for sure.
Sure,
I just
yeah.
don't know how many
were.
it was into the Hy-Vee project.
Project, yeah.
But it started out as a small company and small buildings, small
Yeah.
grocery stores, and
From my memory, Hy-Vee started in 1930 in Beaconsville, Iowa.
That sounds
Sounds
right.
Yeah.
Definitely Iowa. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why most Iowa towns have them across the street from each other now.
Then that store grew to become Hy-Vee, a company with more than 570, I want to say, business units across 9 Midwestern states.
wow,
Yeah.
If you Google
How
that,
current is the
it
570
seems
businesses?
pointed.
Say that again?
If you Google that, it sounds so pointed.
How current is 570 businesses? What year were they up to 570?
I don't remember. I'm not a Hy-Vee historian. Those are just facts I know.
From the facts that you're relaying, it sounds like it could be.
My favorite is up in the office there. There's that picture of what had to be like one of the original high school crews because it's. I mean, maybe not initial, but it's like 1980 or 1981.
I don't know.
You don't remember seeing that? There's like
No, there's. I remember the pictures.
yeah.
No, I just know that.
So
we
many-
had one. I had one manager whenever I started.
yeah.
My dad ended up becoming the manager like 2 to 3 years into my employment at Hy-Vee, and I mean I worked for Hy-Vee for about 14 years in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's a nice little Tarkio tidbit for anybody that doesn't know that we have a very historic. I don't know why they haven't put a sign at the top of the main street that says historic downtown, including an original Hy-Vee.
Hy-Vee Museum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's original. I couldn't find anything.
Well, you're just looking up Taylor Swift now.
What are you queuing us up?
Yeah, because you're in Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
She put you guys on the map.
You're right. Jesus Christ.
Don't use her Lord's name in vain. So, when did you start getting into music, playing music?
Me?
No, Ethan.
Or Ethan. Okay. That's why I'm asking, because we...
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He doesn't want to talk to you. He just wants to talk to me.
What do I have to say? No, I mean, I was about 12, and...
What year was that, you think?
But like
I did
2001, 2000.
Yeah, about 2000.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah.
So, did you start singing, playing guitar? What was like the band that was like?
I started my first band with Austin Bruth, and Austin's little brother, Tony Bruth. In 2000, it's called Blood Rush.
Blood Rush?
Yeah, we were...
That's the year you guys started?
I was 12 years old. I remember that.
Oh my God, Tony would have been like...
He might have joined on later, actually.
Actually, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that far back.
We might not have had drums at the time. We were just kind of learning guitar.
Yeah. I got you.
We were playing Seven Nation Army,
Mm-hmm.
just like figuring out how guitars work.
Yeah.
It's good, though. I mean, we changed our name multiple times. We were the Thrustmasters for a while.
Yep.
Genius.
Based off of a gaming toggle switch.
No, it's not. You're lying.
No, it was
no.
literally
Thrustmasters.
Look it up. Thrustmasters.
You're in junior high. Thrustmasters over a video game. Not when the internet was in its infancy.
Thrustmaster joystick. Look it up. It 100%.
Hey. That's not even that old.
Yeah.
That's like a PlayStation or something version. I kind of remember that, actually.
Yeah.
Interesting. So that was the Thrustmaster. So
Yeah.
I'm
And then-
assuming
and
that
then,
because it said it right on it.
Then we moved on to the name Self-Titled.
So I remember you being the Thrustmasters, but I think by the time I ever came to like a show at the old movie theater or the arcade movie rental place, I think you were by then already self-titled, and you guys had done the spray painted shirts.
Oh yeah. I love those. They didn't make enough of them. We sold a million. I'd never had one for myself.
Spray painted shirts. You guys in Aaron Scarborough with the Rocket Turtle.
Yeah.
Spray painting those.
Yeah.
I like to think of it more as like a Miles Morales kind of style.
Yeah.
Painted, spray painted.
Spray painting. It, graffiti, kind of. Maybe not quite that intricate, but.
Yeah, probably not.
And then.
And so what was your guys' what was your original band name?
Us? Oh. Severe tire damage.
Severe, that's right.
Because it was STD.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we
That
switched
seems more on point.
Then we switched to, so there was, so we got on MySpace and found some European band that was Severe Tire Damage doing the same thing. And I'm pretty sure that whole thing is nipped from it's from a movie. And I can't remember which one it is. I want to say it's like an Adam Sandler movie, but I might have that wrong.
Well, no, he had.
There's the band right there. So it's all about the band. You got to figure out it's a movie from a joke, or it's a joke from a movie. Ha. Yep, there it is. I think
This?
Yeah,
The 4-second video.
maybe it was a.
Who was your previous employer? I was in the band, severe tire damage.
Yeah, that's
That's a
it.
commercial.
Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah, it says right up there.
Oh,
Sorry.
no kidding. Yeah,
It was Mrs.
Mrs.
Doubtfire.
Doubtfire.
That's right. I couldn't
There's
remember.
no way we can air that.
Yes, you can. It's 2 seconds.
It's less, yeah, it's.
I don't even know if the mics picked that up.
I agree with that.
So that's where that came from. We found out the band, I'm pretty sure that you saw there, they were from Europe and they were actually doing pretty well.
Nice.
My dad had this whole, when we decided we were moving on from that, my dad had this whole idea. He wanted to call it Stiff Kitty.
Yeah, you mentioned Stiff Kitty before.
Well,
that's hilarious.
yeah, and then he even doodled for us like 7 different, like block lettered with different types of dead cats on there. He made like a hair metal one of just anything you can imagine. He like 6 or 7 of them.
I remember we made a list of everything that we could name the band when we were coming up with One Headlight High, and Stiff Kitty was in there, and that was my favorite for sure.
Yeah, I know. But there was a Stiff Kitty somewhere in Europe too. I
was
think.
there?
Yeah, and so that's what we started doing. We're like, well, okay, figured out there's a severe tire damage that is apparently somewhat successful, and then so we started actually going through MySpace and searching before we picked our name, and then Garrett's dad came up with Park Street Dreams.
Park Street Dream. No, that's right.
And that's what we were for a long time. And everybody's making fun of us because at that time, that style wasn't particularly cool. I don't feel like it wasn't edgy. So we kept getting compared to boy band names.
I don't know. I equate it more to like pop punk rock. Like, I don't know. Like
I do know, but
Fall
I
Out
don't think,
Boy.
I know, but I don't think people did then so much.
Well, okay.
Well, you're coming off the
didn't we
grunge.
compete against each other during a talent show?
Yeah, we would have been STD then.
You would have been SCB.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that we were probably self-titled.
Who won?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did.
We got
We got
it.
second.
Of course you would.
And then
That doesn't mean that we were
I trying
good.
to think. I'm trying. No,
And then,
we were not good.
Dustin Nolan and Austin Bruce were Tres Calculadores. 3 calculators.
They did that, and then but then they were also they had some other. So that was a different talent show. That was the first one was when you guys were all still together, and then the second one that you're thinking of, and I don't think they picked winners for
You're
was
right.
you and Jake did Holding Air Hostage,
Oh, that's right.
and then we still did whatever we were called, either Park Street Dreams or like we eventually went to like the off season at the very end, but that I don't even know if we
Offseason,
ever.
that's a good name, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Other than people are like, well, it sounds like the Offspring. It's like, well, fuck, guys, there's only so many band names, but
Yeah, you can't claim the name off.
right, yeah,
Like
and
the
everything with
first-
associated with
Off
it.
hyphen, whatever.
Yeah.
What year was this?
That first talent show, I think Dustin and I were freshmen. Does that
Yeah.
sound right? You
Which-
guys could
which
drive.
made
I
me
don't
a-
think we could even drive.
Which made me a junior.
And you're
and then,
43?
No, you're only one class ahead of us.
I'm 37 now.
Yeah.
So you said like 2002, but that would have been...
No, that's when he got into it. I would say by the time we were ballsy enough, they had already been playing, like I said, down at the arcade and stuff. But by the time we got together, practiced enough, and were ballsy enough to play a show, it had to have been. I remember, 2004 probably.
That's fourth age.
Yeah,
When you were getting into music,
Garrett was still in junior high.
how much of an impact in like 2002, how much of an impact was the terrible terrorist attack that happened in New York a year prior? How did that affect your musical dreams at the time?
Well, I can tell you where I was during 9/11. That's what you're asking.
No, I just want...
I was in math class.
Yeah, I went to Tarkio. I was in kindergarten.
You did not.
I did. Yeah,
You did.
I did.
Did you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I thought you and your older brother were from Fairfax.
Yeah, but I did kindergarten and like the preschool stuff here.
I didn't know that. Okay.
And I thought we were friends.
I will say that
Good
as a
acquaintance.
child,
I see you'd have been seventh grade.
yeah, I was in 7th grade. I was in Mrs. Mather's math class, and they pulled us out to go watch the 9/11 attacks. I will say that had near zero effect on my music
I
influence.
just wondering.
Even though her husband, Mr. Mathers, was my music teacher,
Right.
who was also the cousin, maybe distant cousin of Mr. Marshall Mathers. In case,
Yeah, but correlation isn't causation, so.
agreed. I'm not claiming causation.
I was trying to think. So I don't remember back to that talent show. I don't remember what got third. Maybe Donovan Jones.
Well, it depends on which the two.
He should have
we're
got
talking
first.
about. We have to.
He should have gotten
clarify.
first too. He was very young.
I feel like we got first.
Maybe he
You guys
could've
got
got-
second, and then Dustin on the second talent show. I think that
Yeah.
Pulling Your Hostage got first, you guys got second,
Second,
and then
probably.
the Trace Calculadores.
Yeah, they had another.
third place.
They had another. They did the Calculadores thing, but they had another weird name too that they ended
They had
up.
a really good name. I can't remember what it was. I
It
honestly
was.
can't remember. What it was.
God, I'm not gonna remember. Like, it was. All I can think of is like the Wallflowers, but that's not what it was, obviously, because that is a band. But it was something. Wasn't it something down those lines of like? It was like they had like a pretty groovy sound to it, and then they just
They had something that was like short and sweet, but like really,
Yeah.
it was good.
It was
a really
brilliant,
good band name.
yeah. Those One Guys was a pretty fantastic name too.
Oh, I forgot about those one guys
Yeah.
actually. No, that's when we played together the first time.
Probably
Self-Titled
you could have
came-
been those One Guys by then.
Self-titled came before those one guys. The one guys was the last one.
The first time that I remember seeing you play, probably Tyler, was during map testing. They let you guys just whenever, if nobody was map testing, they could go down to the auditorium and watch you guys one day during school.
The auditorium, or
Yeah, no, we were on the stage at the auditorium, and they were just like, at that time, I want to still say you were self-titled. It was before you'd made the switch to those One Guys, and they were just like, if anybody wants to come watch self-titled, if you're free, if you're not testing, and you want to come watch it in the auditorium, it's open to you.
What?
I don't know.
What music were you guys playing at that time? Were you already doing like Blink-182 and Fall Out Boy, or were you like classic rock, or what was it early on?
We were playing Dorkomatic.
Which is its own genre.
Yeah. It was a mix of things.
That's just a
we all
name of
had
their
different
song.
influences, and we really didn't have like a good congruity of what we wanted to play. Like Austin wanted to play like German punk rock, like
And like Rancid and but like the Transplants.
Mesh with that.
Rammstein.
Rammstein.
Yeah, he was big into that early
Dude,
on.
they're huge.
We made ourselves our own duct tape fucking Slipknot
Yeah.
masks.
I do remember
when we
that.
first started out
I
like
remember
really
that.
early on. We were really young, but we figured out. We put fucking. Can I?
Yeah, you can guess.
Okay, all right. We put on like pantyhose on our faces and had each other duct tape our fucking heads on, so we looked like Slipknot.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
He was really into Slipknot.
Yeah,
I love Slipknot to this
He's
day.
into hardcore stuff. I mean, it was more intense. That's why he did Dorkomatic. That was what drove that.
Yeah.
And I was more into, I don't know, Chevelle. And,
Yeah.
You know.
Nickelback.
Yeah. And Matchbox 20. And
Hell yeah.
you know,
Dude, so I will
Linkin
take this
Park.
minute. Yeah, Linkin Park. Big deal.
big influence for me. Yeah.
So I will take this slight minute to stand up for what Dustin is always preaching to us, and we just blow him off. But when Nickelback came out, everybody liked them.
Yeah.
They do and did have good songs. Just everybody got real upset with their progression, how fast they went from something kind of unique to something not.
People love to hate them.
No, I think I saw something not that long ago where Chad Kroger was talking about it. Some radio guy made a joke on air about hating Nickelback, and then it just became like something everybody accepted.
Oh.
Yeah, what I remember pissing everybody off, frankly, was whenever they started doing Photograph, and like they just really
It just became so generic.
generic and like pretty close to country.
I mean, it's the same with like Creed's
Yeah,
trajectory went,
Went,
you know,
yeah.
like they were real popular for a long time, and then people started making fun of them because they never kind of broke that form.
right. Yeah,
I would consider their. Go ahead.
Well, just whenever popular bands do break their form, they get criticized for that too. It's just that people eventually kind of start to
Accept it.
accept the new thing,
yeah.
and they're accepted as I don't want to say revolutionary. That's not the right word, but like they're trying
Kind
something
of.
new. They're
Yeah, kind of
something
accepted
else.
that the maturity has to happen.
Yeah,
it has to go in a different
you're-
direction.
You're not going to be the same band forever, and that's okay.
Okay, yeah, and like it doesn't matter if you're talking about a specific band or just music in general, in my opinion. But like everybody always wants there to be a new version of that one thing that they absolutely loved. But like what you're trying to do is catch lightning in a bottle again.
Yeah.
And it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
And the sooner you accept that that's not going to happen, I think the easier you relax on expecting so much out of a band, you know.
Like Puddle of Mud.
Yeah, and they were
No.
yeah, but everybody, dude, you're gonna be
Everybody loved
you're gonna
that
be so
song.
bummed. Everybody liked that song, and everybody liked Blurry too.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
fucking thing was on the radio 9 times a day, and everybody liked it.
It was all
blurry.
And like Linkin Park is a good example of a band that tried to stay in the same vein for too long, and they just
kept
it's not
releasing
that
the same shit over and over in different
it was
iterations.
good music, but it was just the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
And then they would just rehash it with some kind of R&B artist and then re-release it, and it felt like they were milking the music.
Yeah, or remix it. Sometimes it was basically just a remix. Yeah.
Often.
Do you? Speaking of remixes, do you remember LimeWire, where you get like AC/DC and Eminem?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are
The mashups. I feel like that started coming along kind of about the point I quit using LimeWire, but yes, people started getting mashups in there. I remember actually, no, I'm good. I remember actually I kind of actually remember Napster. I think from downloading, I remember Napster going to shit. I would never use Napster, but I remember when it was huge and whenever it failed, and then everybody went to LimeWire, and that's when I would have started stealing music.
Here goes our Metallica sponsorship. Thanks for that.
I paid for either me or my dad has paid for all the Metallica music I have on my phone. So, but no, yeah. So that's kind of where we finally, and it finally took us. Oh, at one time we asked Tyler to join our band, and he come and jammed with us one time, and we thought it went really well because we didn't have a singer. That was a real problem. But I guess let me back up to answer your question. We were basically emulating Blink-182, even at that age.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And Green Day and The Offspring and I don't know. I'm trying to remember. Garrett had a kind of an interesting mix of what he liked. He liked like Beck and Linkin Park.
He's so deep.
And but then like he liked like I'm never gonna remember the name of this. I'm not even gonna try to tell you what it is. It's almost like a Texas-y Western-y band. Like they weren't country by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not gonna remember the name of this thing, but he really liked them a lot.
Oh, is that one of Americana bands?
They
Leonard Skinner.
no, that's like
I knew.
yeah. Yeah, thank you. I couldn't think of Leonard Skinner.
I didn't think you. I thought you were maybe a little.
Yeah, what's that song everybody wants to hear every time you play a show? But I don't know. Yes, he had play cherry pie. That's what everybody always yells. He had a kind of a, and then he like really liked like the Bloodhound Gang, and so Garrett had a lot of things that we didn't have before we had it. Because he had like satellite TV and stuff, so he had started in on Fuse real early, like when Fuse was what MTV had used to be,
Right.
if you remember. So like he's the one that kind of really got us on Fall Out Boy and all that stuff. Kind of at the same time we were starting to write music, so and we were already Green Day fans, Blink-182 fans, Offspring fans.
That's kind of how I feel about Austin. He got me into Taking Back Sunday.
Yeah,
I had no idea, and I didn't like him at first.
yeah. I can't stand them anymore.
Taking Back Sunday.
Do you ever listen back through that and realize how much shit's not even in key?
No, I love it. I fucking love it. Do you? Yeah. Ting Next Sunday, brand new.
Yeah.
And then at some point I saw brand new open for Modest Mouse.
Yeah.
And holy shit.
Yeah.
It was and they kept interchanging players from each band with each other.
Yeah.
And it was just the time
Wild, yeah.
I mean, to each their own, but like,
Yeah. But don't
I know that Ting Next Sunday is not famous for putting on a very good show.
Well, no, I just mean even in the albums. Do you ever go back and listen? Like, there's stuff that does not sound good.
We just got the vinyl from the original Ting Next Sunday. Yeah, I've been playing nonstop for the last 2 weeks.
And it doesn't. Your ear doesn't ever catch. Like,
Fucking love it. I know that there's inconsistencies and like flaws, but that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
It's so raw.
Yeah.
I just love
I
it.
said this earlier. Kansas City has got you so hard.
Hey man,
IPAs, records.
I'm a new age boy, I guess.
no, like I don't like. So like if I won't, and I don't want to say like if like What It's Like to Be a Ghost comes on, like I like that song still. It's all right. I mean, I don't need to hear it a lot or often, but I look back at so much stuff at one time that I was just like, I don't like. There's even a day to remember stuff that I don't like anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, like
That's fair.
You know what I mean? And it's just because I don't relate to it the way we did when we were 19. You know?
Hey, at least we can all agree that we don't like 27 Pilots.
27 Pilots.
Yeah. Kiefer, I don't know if you know, but that dude fucked a baby.
What?
Yeah. Well, and then
Yeah, that's pretty fucked.
Wow. Way to bring the mood up.
Yeah. Hey. Podcasting.
yeah.
Cheers.
Sorry.
But yeah, we were writing pop songs pretty much, and then we would play like we covered like American Idiot and Brain Stew and all the small things. I assume. And Beverly Hills was popular. I think everybody like that was real big at the time. Make Believe had just come out. I think everybody was doing that song.
Yeah.
Weezer we were into Weezer. I mean, even like Blue Album, Green Album.
I've done literally 1985. I've done in every band that
Same year, yeah.
every band that I've ever been in. We played 1985.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Bowling for Soup got real huge real quick back then.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
They're kind of resurging a little bit.
I was.
Oh yeah. No.
I like them, so I'm going to respectfully not say anything out loud. No, I just saw a one of those like meme videos on Instagram. It was if Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s name was Debbie, and this guy drinking a beer with a cowboy hat on in his recliner, and it's just woo-hoo! And then Debbie just hit the wall, and he's like standing up. He's like, hi!
The Killers. The Killers were like getting huge right then too. Yeah.
The Killers worked in like Las Vegas for like 12 years and then got big.
Yeah. And the thing that people I don't think realize about the Killers is they were really, other than like the commercial song, a couple of commercial songs, they're really like a little indie band.
Yeah, they're awesome.
A lot of it does not sound like the commercial stuff, and yet still very good.
Let's like 21 Pilots. They started out really like low key, very unique.
Yep.
And then and their I don't know, their last album seemed to be really very kind of mainstream centered, and a lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah.
I saw 21 Pilots before they were big.
Yeah.
Yeah, they opened for Imagine Dragons. Do you like Imagine Dragons?
I love Imagine Dragons.
Imagine Dragon needs nuts across your chin. High five. Sorry. That was good. No, but I did see them and they opened up for Imagine Dragons.
Guess what, motherfucker? My girlfriend is from Columbus, Ohio, so she saw them before you did. I almost did.
Oh, yeah?
Motherfucker.
Because I saw them in Columbus, Ohio in a garage.
Okay, that probably does win, actually. In a garage. Why were you out there?
I was huffing a lot of gas.
Yeah. She just winded up there. Well, if that were true,
I'd like to do
probably-
the math on that. Most of that stuff. You've been pretty little out there huffing gas. Probably explains why you choose your hairstyle now.
Hey.
That's true.
Awesome. So this has been a great episode. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
We have so much more to cover. Tyler, I guess I don't know how far ahead you want to jump. That was
Well, we're still talking about music.
well, I just didn't know if you wanted to go to like up to us or if you wanted to talk to us. Davey Baby Cakes wants to talk to you.
Some of this gets to be edited out.
No, we don't.
We say it a lot, but we hardly ever really take much out.
Fair enough.
No, I say I'm going to take something out all the time. And
I feel pretty good about what's happened so far.
It's a lot of work.
I feel like we've been having a good time.
Yeah, we had high ambitions, and then
just for one of us.
a couple weeks into doing it, it's like, you know what, it's fine.
You're talking about jumping ahead in timeline.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you wanted to try to cover more about what we were doing in high school or
yeah,
just
yeah.
after, because, you know, he was
So-
in No Coast November, too.
I know you are Green Day kind of really shift. Was Green Day before Blink for you?
Yes. So, I, you know what, I don't know if I've talked about it recently, but, okay.
I'm kidding.
No, I don't even like Green Day anymore.
I've been listening to Dookie on repeat. Masterpiece.
Yeah, it's so good. I can't wait to go see it. August. Hey, if Jamie bails, I'm gonna need somebody to go. So I'll probably invite Tyler. He's already gonna be down there. He doesn't like Green Day as much as we do. I don't think. Yeah.
I mean, maybe not.
Oh no, it used to piss you off because everybody tried to say that too. You were trying to be. And you could, and it couldn't be farther from the truth. I don't know.
Not because of No Coast November or anything.
No, it was when we were in high school, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, because like pop punk, that was kind of the quintessential version of what pop punk was.
Yeah,
at the
because
time.
American Idiot came out.
Anything that you did in that realm,
Looked
people
like
just
you were-
equated it. And it was mostly like people in our small town that just didn't really have like much, I don't know, variation of to compare against. You know, they would just always compare it to Green Day or Blink.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot more, I don't know, nuance to that.
And the other problem was like there was emo stuff out at or before the time, but it was really underground, and Green Day stepped in and commercialized it and made it huge. And really, so
Like
what
David
you was, and they were around at that time, but you didn't know what they were. Yeah, but you didn't know what they were doing in 2004.
Yeah, but Green Day started as just like a basic punk band. That's how they got the underground following. It's when they kind of did Kerplunk, or it was after Kerplunk, because Kerplunk's still kind of punkish.
Yeah, well, Dookie's. Kerplunk, that's the first actual album of theirs.
Okay. All right. No, I was okay.
They had a couple EP LPs that got put on one thing, So then they took they did all that shit on Lookout Records, and then we're really going in a weird direction here, but they did. I'll paraphrase quickly. They went to Lookout down there in Southern California where they were playing, and then they Geffen got a hold of them, and then they did Dookie, which a lot of people generally don't know this, but like Welcome to Paradise was on Kerplunk, and it wasn't successful. So they just decided, fuck it, we'll redo it and do it right, and it was a hit off of
The song's so good.
It is really good.
Yeah.
And then so they really were still just a punk band. It's just again they kind of took that, and that's why so many people down there got so fucking pissed off at them where they were from, because they took that whole thing and again got it commercialized at the exact right time. Them and the Offspring kind of hand in hand, really.
Yeah.
Offspring,
Offspring's from like Portland though, like more, right?
No, they're from Southern California too, because like they're all into the. Yes, they are. They like and not only that, like they have like a lot of really. If you pay attention to the music, once you know this, and there's some real obvious songs, but like a lot of Hispanic culture stuff into that, because that's kind of where they grew up. And then like Dexter Holland the singer has an entire brand of hot sauces called Gringo Bandito that he does.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, my first like exposure to quote unquote punk. Sorry, my first exposure to like quote unquote punk was like Dropkick Murphys,
Mm-hmm.
because that was considered punk.
Yeah.
And then when I got introduced to Blink-182, I had to find a different name for that because it's
Not
the
like
same
that,
at all.
yeah.
It's very different.
No bagpipes.
No bagpipes
For starters.
Not a whole lot of screaming even.
Yeah.
It's just like, which is okay.
Yep.
It's just
So it was Blink?
Blink and mostly Blink.
Oh, yeah, that was my question.
And Green Day, I mean Blink and Green Day.
Now, I didn't really care, like, I guess not care, they weren't on my radar. Blink 182, like, when I was getting into Fall Out Boy and, like, Panic at the Disco, because A Fever You Can't Sweat Out and Infinity on High came out, like, a week apart. So I bought both of those. Well, my sister Sabrina bought it for me.
Yeah.
Shout out to the old sis. But, like, those were, like, I had From Under a Cork Tree. That was like the only pop punk I had. Yeah. And then these came out, and then it just kind of progressed from there. But never really into Blink until I was probably in high school.
Yeah.
Well, you have a decent age difference between the two of us.
Oh my God, dude. You're 50. I'm, what, 18?
Yes, I'm 50. Yeah.
He's the same age as like my brother and Tristan.
Well, I mean, even you, like, we didn't really connect until after we were out of high school because, high school age difference is so much greater when you're young than when you're out of it.
Yeah, I mean, other than we knew each other and we obviously played shows together and stuff, and chatted, but
But like Kiefer, when I was in 7th or 8th grade, I was like training.
Yeah,
on drums.
William Tells, I remember.
For like a drum.
Yeah, it was William.
Competition.
Yep, William Tell. I remember that. Yeah, because I remember he couldn't get it, and like he played it, and then I went into wherever you guys were doing, and Sid was in there, and I went diddle-it, and I did it. She goes, "Don't do that." I was like, "What?" Why? He's like, "That's not going to help him learn the song. If you just walk in, I'll get it immediately."
He really wasn't interested in actually learning.
No.
He was reluctant from the start.
Yeah.
But my mom's a music teacher, and Mrs. Cooper was a music teacher, so like, I was just like, I was reluctant to go and just, I didn't want to do it. But when I met him, he was like, I don't want to do this either. And I was like, all right, well, maybe we can not want to do this together.
Teamwork.
yeah. No, but my interest in, I guess, pop punk, because another important album, I think, that's kind of important too. I guess I'll get to in a minute. But my dad had this giant. I actually still have it in the basement. This giant cabinet that held the stereo system at that time. Because you had to have amps and
A Sony?
some of it was. I can't remember what they all were. And then tower speakers and all that stuff back in the day. That was, you went to you couldn't just buy a little fucking speaker with everything built in. You had to have all kinds of shit to make it work. And so you had this cabinet, and in this cabinet there's 3 sets of drawers, and then like the actual stereo only took up so much of the middle of the cabinet. So in all those drawers and on each side and above it were just CDs of my parents. And he, for some reason, I would listen to like REO Speedwagon, Aerosmith, Metallica, just all the stuff that they listened to, right? And then for some reason, I started looking around at all these other CDs, and he, for some reason, had bought Insomniac by Green Day and Pinkerton by Weezer because they were kind of popular. You want to check them out or whatever. And he didn't dislike them. He didn't like them that much. So like they were just sitting in there, and I put those 2 CDs in, and that's what. And right after that is when American Idiot came out, and then I went back to Dookie and back through it all. And then to kind of lead us where we went, I think for all of us from there is like at that time you had Good Charlotte was getting popular. Their what is the name of their big albums? Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous, or
I went to I went to Warped Tour, and I remember everybody was hating on them for some reason. I don't know why. It was
The Young and the Restless, or The Young and the Hopeless is the name of the album. So that had come out, and then Yellow Card, Ocean Avenue was coming out. So that's where that bridge kind of got for all of us. And then like Dustin and I and Garrett also all really connected on the Red Hot Chili Peppers, which we did nothing like that, but we were all pretty into that too.
they're amazing. Red Hot Chili Peppers and
My absolute favorite.
you gotta cut this gap out now.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Wait, yeah, I'll cut it. I'll cut it out.
He'll cut it out.
I'll cut it.
No, we've learned that is fine.
Yeah, just say you cut it, and it'll be fine. Incubus, come on.
Yeah. So Dustin was really into Incubus, and Garrett listened to him too. I don't dislike Incubus, but they're not my.
It's just like I mean, I think that those kinds of bands, you have to be able to recognize their.
Oh God, yeah, they're fucking unbelievably talented. Yeah, you can't not listen to them.
Yeah, it's like the culmination of punk rock, or like in my opinion, Modest Mouse is like a culmination of like Brand New and like a.
Yeah, but before them, right? I mean, they actually would be before that, right?
I don't know.
I would say so. Or like Queens of the Stone Age. Did you ever listen to them?
I saw them at Warped Tour once. But
With Warped Tour, so not with Dave Grohl.
not with Dave Grohl, no. Was he part of that?
Mm-hmm.
Part of what?
Queens of the Stone Age. That one song.
That's news to me. That's
That's Dave Grohl on drums, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You want more Dave Grohl news? Do you know who played drums for Tenacious D on the album?
Hit me, brother.
You know who played drums for Tenacious D on their first album? Or for the Pick of Destiny album and the movie?
Dave Grohl?
Dave Grohl. Do you know who's the devil in that movie?
I did know that. I did know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
I might tell my girlfriend that.
Yeah. I did know
You have to
that.
tell her nothing, dude.
No, I'm going to tell her that because I just want to impress her with how much Dave Grohl has done.
Yeah.
So, you brought up Good Charlotte. I do want to make a comment about them. Are you a big Good Charlotte fan?
Not as much. I feel like I got side-roaded early on because everybody was saying, like, at my first Warped Tour visit, everybody's walking around with big fucking signs saying "Fuck Good Charlotte."
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
What year?
Like
You guys went when you were pretty young, I remember.
yeah.
Were they pissed off at this
around
album, or was it after that? Like, do you remember why?
I don't know. I haven't listened to it much.
I know a lot of people were not impressed when The River came out, but that would have been, or whatever album that
It was
is.
my first. It was my first time at Warped Tour, so I'd say I was probably seventh grade. I went with,
seventh grade. That would have been 2001 or 2004.
For him.
2004.
Oh no, one would be like
Maybe
seventh grade.
2003.
I was in seventh grade in 2002
Yeah.
and 3, I guess. So
Okay, then it'd have been 2004.
4.
Good Charlotte never slaps.
Why do you say that?
The production of their albums should be so heckin' huge.
Yeah.
And like Lifestyle of the Rich and the Famous, there should be a giant like drop, like going into the chorus. You can just go from here to here.
They didn't. To be honest with you, not very many people were doing that at that time, especially with like.
Yeah, but they should have tracked everything a lot more so the guitars were huger.
Huge, yeah.
I don't know.
But when I this is the same event that I saw Bowling for Soup for their first time, and they weren't big yet. They were on one of the smaller stages, and I bought a shirt
Yep.
that said "Bowling for Poop,"
Yep.
and then they X'd out the poop and said "soup" underneath.
Can I
I
have that
remember.
shirt?
No, I remember that shirt.
God, yeah.
I remember
How could
wearing
you
it.
forget? It was so embarrassing to have bought.
Oh, dude, no, that's sweet.
It was a brown shirt.
With brown letters, other than like the X might have
It
been
was,
red.
it was pretty much like as gross as you could make it. You know, they were, but man, their fucking on stage presence was so impressive. The lead singer, like, he was like flicking the guitar pick from behind his back.
Oh yeah, they're catching it in his mouth.
Like grabbing it and going again. It was really cool.
They are probably them and Kiss are probably the reasons I have to buy guitar picks, like a new pack every freaking show.
Yeah,
because I'm always giving them out because they're so good at tossing them. I'm pretty accurate with tossing one. I can go over there and throw one at you from across the room. Honestly, yeah.
Well, we'll test that after this podcast is over.
Bowling. I'm trying to find this bowling for.
We can play frisbee.
It may not be that easy to find. I thought there was a couple that I thought looked like it, but it's not it.
It was, yeah. I mean, it's
Just-
you can't find our old shit. Like,
God, we should
remember, try to Google our old T-shirt that we haven't made. You know,
The bowling shirts, yeah, they're pretty sweet.
That'd be sick. No.
I was trying to think.
That
What else kind of.
I'll cut that.
God, I was trying to think what kind of else.
dude, he remembers it.
I do remember.
I wore it to school.
Yeah, and for quite a while.
Yeah.
I also remember your Killers shirt.
Yeah.
I think it was just the Hot Fuss shirt. Or yeah. I was trying to think what else.
I got the Warped Tour hat from the year that we played.
Yep. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, I got that hat.
You should have saved the bottle of water. Just for old time's sake.
That wasn't even my idea. That was all Alex's idea. She's moved on.
Did you know Jamie? Did you know Jamie didn't watch the show down there?
Didn't? Are you serious?
No, she was. She.
Why are you bringing that up on the podcast? Better yet.
Well, I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it.
But she's going to hear this.
That's fine.
She's not listening.
She
She's
knows.
got better things to do with her life.
I didn't know. Yeah, it's true. I didn't know that she didn't see it for a while after. But she was pregnant with Simon. It was hot.
So all she got to see was the YouTube video?
If she watched that,
I'd say it's more impressive live than it was on the YouTube video.
I don't know. YouTube video was good. I thought.
I went. You guys were really pushing on me to go hard
Yeah.
on the energy,
Yeah.
and I feel like I sang like shit
I don't
because I
know.
was trying to like
Yeah.
fucking
No, I think it was
do
fine.
everything crazy.
You ever watch anybody's live videos? Most of the time they ain't that fucking.
I
They aren't what you
I
think.
know that I have better live videos than
I just, yeah, I mean, that's probably true too. I mean, I think, but like, I just think there's something between the people, how close you are to proximity to those speakers, how bad, especially sometimes at that time, phones particularly, but any type of recording, like, I think it fucks stuff up so bad, you
I
know.
agree with that. It's just that nobody on the other side of that video, on the viewing experience, knows that. So
I think everybody now knows that, like,
They're getting a little better
cameras
because
on
it's
phones aren't.
because it's right here now. You know what I mean? So people are kind of exposed to it. But like, and you also notice, like, you ever notice, like, when somebody sends Snapchats and like them or people in the crowd are singing and you can hear them and they all sound like shit. And I was like, I have a theory. I could be totally wrong, but I think it's just because it's so fucking loud that like even people that can sing have a hard time.
not just that, but like you can't hear accurately
Yes.
what you're singing on stage unless you have a really good setup.
Oh no, I mean people in the crowd. Like whenever they're videoing, like you can hear people in the crowd trying to sing. Like as a whole, it sounds okay, but like.
It's fine if the crowd sings.
No,
But I think even people that can really sing in a crowd like that when it's that fucking loud aren't going to sound very good. You know what I mean?
I'm
Just
gonna
'cause-
argue with you on that.
Why?
I don't think it. I think when you're at a live show, there's so much energy,
Yeah.
and especially if it's a band you really like. Whenever, like when we went and saw Sum 41, I was singing my gosh darn little heart out.
Yeah, but you don't know what it sounded like.
No, I wasn't good because I didn't care. I was just happy to be screaming with people around me.
That's true.
Like, honestly, like,
Yeah, I agree.
whenever I see the Chili Peppers, I don't like try to hit everything right. I'm just happy to be in the moment.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I went to for instance, I went to a Vertical Horizon concert.
I was supposed to one time.
Hell yeah, you guys are so
I'll tell you that story. Vertical Horizon kicks ass.
And I was like wailing on the notes, right?
Yeah.
And, like I was, I don't know, not close up front, not in the back. I was kind of in the middle. And some chick next to me just goes like, "You sing pretty good." I was like, "Thanks, I'm in a band."
We're called Horizontal Horizon.
You didn't say go home, you're drunk.
No, I should have. I was on Vicodin at that point.
Oh wow, probably we're feeling.
I just got off my fucking wisdom teeth.
Yeah. It's a good time to go to a concert.
Yeah.
Well, it was the next day. I already had tickets. So
We were supposed to go to. What was the lineup? I haven't told the story yet on here. We were supposed to go to Fastball, Vertical Horizon. I want to say Everclear.
Sweet.
And Sugar Ray
Oh, that's really fun.
up at Stir Cove. And Dustin hit me up like 2 nights before. I was like, I just found out this was going on. I'm going to buy tickets. Do you want to go? It's Saturday night at whatever. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Make it work. I mean, obviously that time had almost no responsibility. So he buys the tickets. We go up. We're like, we're going to go up early. We're going to go to Hooters. We're going to eat. We're going to have some beers. We're going to, just make the day of it or whatever. So we go up to Hooters. It's busier and shit because Ragbri was going through. Yeah.
Gross.
We talked about that once already.
Yeah.
Where they were
I'll just
across
show my
Iowa.
picture.
We're bicyclists across Iowa, one side to the other. Yeah. But and the route changes slightly. They go through different towns each year. But so Ragbri was busy as hell. And
This gross shit.
the waitress is just like, hey, you guys here for Ragbri? We're like, no, actually, we're going to a concert. And she's like, oh, really? What one? And we told her the lineup. She goes, oh, I think that was last night. And Dustin goes, no, that's not. It wasn't last night. And she goes, well, she goes, well, I don't know. She goes, I know some of my friends sent me Snapchats of being at that concert last night. And he goes, well, it is at a casino. Maybe they're playing a couple nights in a row or something. She goes, yeah, that is possible. That does happen once in a while or whatever. And he's like, yeah, no, I just bought the tickets like last night. So, I mean, it wasn't last night, you know? And so, like, we fucking eat, have a good time, whatever. Fucking, we get in the car. So even back then, it was still, you had to print them out. They were barcoded, but you had to print them, you know? And he fucking, we're just about to Stir Cove to Harrah's. And he pulls it down. He goes, you know what? I'm like, what? He goes, that fucking concert was last night.
I was like, I was waiting for the punchline where either it was like tomorrow or yesterday.
It was Friday.
When I was in high school,
He goes, why the fuck would they sell me tickets after the night that the fucking show after the
That's a fair question. Actually,
Dude, I don't know, man.
well, take money, brother.
Jeez.
You stupid motherfucker.
don't have to clean up after anything.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, for my birthday, David and I went up to Sokol Auditorium.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't get tickets, but we were going to go see Pierce Avail. Big Pierce Avail guy, actually, believe it or not. But it's January. There's like a foot of snow on the ground. We get all the way up there, and we didn't get tickets. As soon as we start to walk into the door to get tickets, they put up at max capacity, sold out. like legit, like right in our faces, like a movie. So we're just like, can we get in? Like, read the sign, asshole.
How old were you guys?
I was probably like 16 or 17. Yeah.
We got to play it a couple times.
Oh, a few times, yeah.
Played there. But so we parked a couple blocks away, and it's like a couple feet of snow, like maybe 2 foot and a half. We get up to the car, and there's this guy standing there like, I can't get out. He's like an older guy. So instead of going to see Pierce Avail, an awesome concert, we spent the next hour and a half digging some stranger out of his driveway.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't have money, but you guys can have these. And he gave us both a silver dollar.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but we didn't cool. We didn't have coats on. We didn't wear coats into the venue.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm so cold. No, I think it was an older lady, not a guy.
Yeah.
Well, let's just run to the car.
Like golden tickets to the Willy Wonka factory? Like, were you
No.
got in because you got the silver dollar?
I think they were just like nickel-plated coins that were probably knockoff.
How does this lead to you getting into the venue?
We didn't.
Oh,
We just.
I thought you were saying you did.
No,
Okay, all right.
no.
Actually, just for shits and giggles here.
Oh my gosh.
You talking about one? Yeah, you talking about one?
You have
One,
one.
right?
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
No,
that's
that was my grandpa's. That's why it's in there.
Must be nice to have a grandpa.
Well, he's not here anymore.
So,
Dude, my grandpa
It was
nice. We'll get you some silver dollars.
the other. Thanks.
I'll get you a silver dollar too.
Last weekend, we did a show. It was for Tecumseh's, like the town thing. And afterwards, Tyler, we did. Tyler kept going. Yeah, we play next Friday, but we have Saturday off. I want everybody to spend time with on Father's Day. Tyler Anthony.
It's the band he's in.
Not me.
No.
All right, just clarifying for the audience.
But he kept saying this over and over, and I'm standing there the whole time. I'm like, dude, half of your band doesn't have dads, and you're making this big point about everybody spending time with their fathers on Father's Day.
Well, you're just as annoying fucking shitting on the people with dads that want to spend time with their dads.
Jeez. Everybody rubs it in my face.
Maybe that's why it's important to him. I don't know.
Maybe he's just being an ass. Maybe he knew what he was doing.
He probably did know what he was doing. He's a smart fella. That guy. You know, we're at an hour. Should we take a little pause?
We can if you want. Is there anything you want to finish up on this topic?
No, I think we can move on.
I think we're good.
Just do this part 1 and part 2 with Ty.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Since he's never up here.
Yeah.
Nor
We're
is
switch
Texas.
Texas. We get off music. But then there was a number of years that Tyler played One Headlight High, and it was the best, most extravagant, fucking best experience that we ever had.
Okay. Yep, that's a great place. Folks.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's okay. Folks, if you enjoyed this past episode featuring Kyler, we would appreciate it if you followed our sponsor for the day, which is, drumroll,
Tyler Anthony.
Tyler Anthony Band, where the good times never stop coming and the music's always ecstatic. Nope, just kidding. You got pranked. We are not doing a 2-part episode. We're just going to do this in one.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're back at it.
Tyler, okay, so that first hour, fun. The nature of our relationship lately, since you're living in Kansas City and turned your back on all of us.
The community.
All that.
Is usually what happens is Tyler calls me every once in a while. I'll call him every once in a while, and we get into sometimes 2-3 hour conversations about whatever. So we'll start here with where you want to do, but you had mentioned that you wanted to talk a little bit about your knowledge on SpaceX right now, which actually totally sparks my interest because I know very little about SpaceX other than the one South Park episode that I watched.
Well, how do you feel about space travel?
So I don't know much about space travel. I know that the older I get, the more I watch Star Wars.
Like, do you remember the feeling of the Apollo missions and like, I mean, your parents do, surely.
Yeah.
I
I mean, I know,
been
yeah.
50 plus years since we've been to the moon, right?
Big fan of the Challenger.
Challenger fan.
Yeah, no, the Challenger sucked. That sucked. Challenger 4 sucked. No, the idea is that they can basically make a space shuttle that does everything that the space shuttle wanted to do and do it better in a way that they want to make an entirely reusable rocket that will reuse the bottom half of the rocket, stage 1, and also reuse the top stage of the rocket, stage 2, where normally the crew would be involved, the cargo would be involved. I think it's really cool. I've been following it for since 2016. They started out thinking that it was going to be a carbon composite like most rockets are. They decided to end up going with stainless steel, which is pretty sweet because it's going to become not so much a space rocket as it is a spaceship, like a futuristic,
with little thrusters that make it. So
Yeah, like
you
the
don't have
Orville where it's like up and down.
down, so you don't have to have like a fucking explosion make it go.
Right now, every time that they send a rocket out into space, the second stage, the top stage, is it burns up in orbit. Best case scenario.
Yep.
And the only way that the first stage doesn't do that is because SpaceX figured out a way to do so. They're the only company out there that has figured out how to do reusability in any shape or form. And they want to do both first and second stage reusability. And what they're trying to do, instead of make their current rocket first and second stage reusable, is create an entirely new stage rocket that does both, as well as puts 10 times more mass to orbit. It's pretty amazing.
So I don't know if anybody's gonna be able to answer this, but okay. So when the shuttle gets to space, how does it move?
The amount of fuel that's needed to travel in space is far less the fuel needed to get out of Earth's orbit.
Yeah. No, I get that, but there's no atmosphere in space, so is there still
You can still use thrust.
thrust? Okay,
Yeah.
so you still can fire, make fire take place and push.
Yeah, so how I understand it is the canisters that the rockets shoot out of, in space, there's air inside the rocket that gets pushed out. And that's how the fire, the jet fuel or whatever,
Yeah.
uses to move.
Gotcha. So it does still, in space, you're still basically blasting a fire out your ass and pushing yourself through.
Yeah, there's no atmosphere to push against.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So the whole idea is to
Or gravity, for that
combust
matter.
enough flammable fuel to shove that out the ass. to
These are all
push you in
scientific terms, folks.
Yes.
We
Yeah,
won't bore you
this
with
is-
what that means, but
to force you in the opposite direction, and to be able to maneuver. They have traditionally they have cold gas thrusters,
gotcha.
which are like nitrogen tanks, basically.
Oh, I gotcha.
And they're able to disperse that in whatever way that they need to. What SpaceX is doing is trying to reuse the naturally whenever you combust an engine thruster, you're going to have some amount of hot gas that comes out of the combustion, and they're trying to reuse that.
Oh, to circulate, like a 2-cycle
Circulate it
or
back into
circulate,
the tank to keep the tank pressurized, which is great because they don't have to use cold gas thrusters for that, but also to be able to use that hot gas to maneuver the
to turn and
gotcha. the whole the whole ship.
So then, and I could be completely wrong on this, but based on what you're telling me, this is what I'm inferring. It doesn't take as much to push it. Does it take as much to turn it as well? I assume not.
Not near as much because you're in zero gravity at that
yeah.
point. So it takes much less. So what they're trying to do now, and hold on, let me take a step back. If they want to propel it to something like the moon or Mars, then they're going to have to do some kind of refueling in orbit.
Yeah. Before it goes that.
Yeah. So what they want to do is to put a tanker in orbit and then have like maybe 6 launches that refill this one tanker and then launch the ship that needs to be refueled, whether it be cargo or crude, and get it refueled by this tanker, and then have them shoot out of orbit. Because out of orbit, it's going to take a whole lot less than it will from Earth itself. They've already been awarded they are the next people to land on the moon.
Yeah.
That's already been
Gonna happen.
settled.
Yeah, I got you. So, I'm trying to think. I don't want to get the. Go ahead.
Maybe you know, maybe you don't. But when they do start trying to inhabit Mars, I know it's been talked about forever. Was the first couple of ships going there, is that just cargo, do you think?
Yeah. First, I don't know, maybe 100 even.
Yeah.
It's going to be equipment.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to end up doing are they going to nuke Mars to help with the atmosphere? What do you think they're going to do?
They talked about it for a while, but
Yeah.
I don't think that they're actually going to end up doing that. The people wear the Nuke Mars shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a
I'm
fun
unfamiliar
idea
with this.
because, like, if you are able to sustain a nuclear fusion on the poles of Mars, you could actually, like, raise the temperature of Mars as a whole.
To get atmosphere.
And volatilize all the frozen
Water.
Yeah.
and gases like CO2 and oxygen.
Yeah.
But Mars has no magnetosphere, so there's no reason to think that it would be able to maintain that atmosphere
Okay.
over time.
It would disperse.
I think that
Slowly over
solar
time.
erosion would probably take away the atmosphere that you're creating, and it would leave the planet worse for wear. That's my interpretation of it. That I've
Sounds like an American thing to do.
totally. Yeah.
So is it like right
Right,
now, just like I just pulled up, like doing greenhouse, like planning a bunch of stuff and just letting that take over?
Well, that's the idea, but without a magnetosphere, I don't know how. I've been questioning that for a long time.
Yeah.
It's just like, how would you be able to? That's where my understanding kind of ends. Is once you are able to bring everything to temperature, how do you maintain that without a magnetosphere?
And that's what would actually keep it contained around within the atmosphere,
Because
basically.
the magnetosphere is what protects a planet from the solar rays that are
Oh, I
coming at
gotcha.
it. And if you don't have that, then it'll just bleed off whatever you're putting into the atmosphere. It's probably why Mars ended up the way that it did in the first place.
Is ozone part of that, or completely unrelated?
Ozone is basically it's oxygen. It's a. Hold on, give me a second.
No, you're fine.
It's an ion of oxygen that,
Gotcha.
that is able to work in the outer atmosphere.
And does it? I mean, ozone does the same thing though. Protects us
From the rays.
from the rays, right?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well,
So,
but
and
it's only possible because
of the magnetosphere. Gotcha. Okay. But it's kind of like that's what's again. I think you answered my question, but
like a
I'm
shell.
still trying to wrap my hand. But yeah, it's basically the shell around the planet. that
I'm sure you've seen videos.
Is it-
pictures of
Is it the outermost part of an atmosphere, or is it like in the middle, or? And I feel bad because I can't
I'm
remember
not sure.
stratosphere,
I
hemisphere,
don't know that it
like
exists within a portion of the atmosphere,
Or if it's a
just, like,
conglomerate.
permeates because it's
yeah,
it's not really it's not really a part of the atmosphere. It's not like a layer.
Right. Okay.
Can you get in your mic
It's
a little bit more?
Huh?
Yeah, there
Yeah,
you go.
he's losing me a little bit.
Sorry. Yeah, it's not really a part of the layer of the atmosphere. It's just that it is like I don't know. You've seen magneticism. It's it's invisible. It's hard to describe.
Right.
It's,
I gotcha.
But it does
Yeah. It's
permeate everything.
basically a cumulative. It becomes cumulative of everything working together.
It's
more
hard
or
to
less.
put into words.
Words,
within
yeah.
Physics, like a physical thing. It's not really a physical.
Well, I'll keep watching Big Bang. Surely they talk about it somewhere.
Yeah, you can do it. Yeah.
You asked when we restarted what are our thoughts on space travel. I probably wouldn't do it, but my view is, well, this is my view on it. I'm not freak or kinky enough.
Oh.
I believe people going to space, that is basically just like, I guess it would be a normalized sex cult. Because I'm being serious.
Okay. All right.
Because if you go to Mars, the likelihood of you actually coming back to Earth. Because, so going to Mars, if you look at the patterns of the planets, during the eclipse, not eclipse, how the rotations is, there's
Orbit?
Orbit. There's one point where we are closest to Mars, and that's where we would shoot off from Earth to get there to cut down the time. Instead of like 5 or 6 years, it'd be 2.5. I'm probably
Years?
Yeah. For
Six,
Mars?
6 months.
6 months. But you have to get the orbit
But
correct.
don't get me wrong. After 6 months, then you guys might just.
Yeah, and who's to say once you get on the ship, the U.S. laws don't matter.
No.
I'm being serious. Who's going to govern that?
That's a legitimate
Concern.
Yeah, it's a sex cult that could go awry at any time because people are power hungry
It
constantly.
doesn't start as a sex cult, though.
It's there though.
I mean,
Because of the implications.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
No, you're going to inhabit a planet. How do you grow a society on a planet? You have to reproduce, and you have to have people growing up in that culture.
100%.
So it's a little more complex, but it's not much different than when we colonized over here.
100%.
There's no other
there'd
indigenous
be-
people to force out.
Survival would
obviously.
take precedence.
That we know
Earth is or gravity would be about 1/3 of Earth's gravity.
Yeah.
So it's not non-existent. It's not the moon's gravity. But it's not our gravity.
What do you get to your mic?
Yep.
If you have to, just cock it this way so you can talk to us. I know it's
Sorry.
kind of annoying, but yeah, just if you want to, just pick it up and.
Here, kind of throw this underneath.
Because I know your whole problem is you're just trying to look at us, which I know we haven't quite got enough cameras to get this a little more relaxed yet.
That'll help.
My bad. Maybe I can. Yeah. It says
Yeah, there you go.
hello.
That's pretty good. So go ahead. Sorry, unless
cut
that
that
thought's
out?
over.
Can we cut that out?
No. we wouldn't
Yeah,
cut
I'll
that
totally.
out.
If you want a handheld mic, I could give you one.
I'm
little bit
not
better.
good with that either.
Okay.
Everybody knows. Everyone knows. No. There is.
I've
34 months.
got a question. I don't want to. If you had something else you were trying, I was gonna say if you were trying to. If you were trying to finish a thought and I've screwed you up here, I apologize. But I have a couple of questions.
Yeah, please.
One, let's see, how do I want to say this? Okay, how fast is this thing going to actually travel to Mars? Have they talked about like speed wise?
You're talking about like miles per second,
I don't know what they're. Yeah, I
miles
mean,
per hour, miles per kilometer.
but I mean, yeah. What are
meters
they?
per kilometer? What are we talking about?
Well, yeah.
Does it
So
matter?
like, sort of, because
How long?
at some point you're going to obviously get faster to shorten the
it's about
time.
9 months
Yeah. So nine Earth months.
right now.
Right, which would be a completely different time when you get to Mars. Technically,
Yeah, I mean,
are they just going to keep Earth time on Mars, regardless of Mars's orbit around the sun?
no, they'd have to create an
Create,
entirely new.
'Cause that would change
calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then
And
here's
then
my other.
correlate it back to
Here's my other question. So, like, did any of you happen to watch Lightyear?
No. Oh, Buzz? The new one?
Right.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, here's why. Because there's a lot of shit about this because they get stuck on a planet and they're trying to achieve the speed to get off and away from the planet. And then this whole planet basically just everything we talked about turns into its own civilization and fucking gives up trying to get off of it. Yeah. But Buzz Lightyear, and the movie is based on like who the character that Tim Allen is in Toy Story, but like his actual Buzz Lightyear is what this is. So the toy is based on this movie.
No, I understand the concept.
Okay, but like he keeps.
I never watched it. But
okay, so he keeps taking off and trying to hit that speed, and like it won't stabilize for him to go far enough away from the planet, so he always has to turn in orbit. Yeah. But he's moving so fucking fast. It seems like so to him it seems like it's a few hours and it's like years every time that he's gone. So is that realistic? Like, is it gonna be like that or?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, in the movie, he's trying to go so fast to break out of the gravitational field of the planet.
Okay.
So he's circling around the planet a bunch and then trying to break, I guess, a wormhole. So he's trying to get fast enough to go through a black hole, essentially.
Oh, well, okay.
So that changes.
If there's a wormhole involved, that changes everything.
Yeah. That also...
Because the gravitational field is going to... so E equals MC squared means that energy and...
mass.
You're good. Keep talking.
All right.
I got you.
Okay. Yep.
That seems high.
Sorry, he's changing. Yeah, that seems tall.
Go ahead.
Taller than I've ever had a microphone above me.
Here you go, Lemmy.
E equals mass times acceleration squared.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay. So basically, what Einstein's general relativity means is that like mass and energy are the same. They're equivalent, interchangeable. And that space is a fabric that is time and space.
That's like another
interchangeable.
Okay.
Okay.
Space being another variable in the equation, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the faster you move, the slower time moves for you. For you relative to everyone else.
To everyone
around
else,
you.
yeah.
And the easiest way to understand that is if you are flying through the sky in a commercial airplane, no, you can stand up and walk.
Yeah.
And you don't have the force of how you're moving.
Yeah.
If you're driving in a car and your kids are playing catch in the back seat, you can throw it back and forth without the ball going behind or anything. Because everything's relative. That's the easiest way to understand that.
Yeah, so that brings me to my next question. So for the longest time, I kind of thought like in Star Wars when they travel at light speed.
That will never happen.
That's fucked. Yeah.
Okay,
It's
but
totally fucked.
Do you want to know why?
I don't, sure.
If you're going that fast, even something like as small as a piece of salt floating in space, the smallest little piece of dust will rip through your ship.
Yes, I know, and that's why they have to fucking do all their coordinate plotting so that they don't.
But you can't coordinate. That's just putting in where you're going. That doesn't do the variables between.
There is a way around that.
No, they do talk. They do. If you like read some of the books and stuff, like they don't really talk about it in the movie, but they do talk about how it is. Now, I don't think that they're discussing, and like you said, it's a very valid point. Something as small as a speck of dust that could tear your ship up, but they are absolutely. It is their flight path that they have to wait.
If you create a time bubble that warps time and space around you, then it is probably strong enough to deflect any kind of small.
If you're warping time and space, you don't have to go the speed of light.
But you have to consume like 1 Jupiter per second.
Yeah, like it's a lot of energy, but you're not
insane.
You're not traveling.
It's insane.
So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
All right.
But I guess let me finish what my thought was. So my assumption always was that same thing. Like if you're in a car or a plane or whatever, it doesn't change relative to you. And even if you're moving that fast, also in a gravityless, I assume it would feel like nothing. I mean, it would feel like nothing, right? It'd feel like sitting here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what relativity, general,
Yeah. No matter how fast you're moving.
is about. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It feels like that's the reason we can all move around the solar system.
Yeah.
At however many units that we're warping, moving around the sun, and spinning in a circle at the same time.
Yep.
We're just doing it so consistently that we feel like everything's standing still, but it's been so consistent that it's.
We're never gonna get. So I love this because there's other questions I want to get into, but
Let's do
I don't know if we're gonna have enough time.
Do a part two. Part two.
We will.
Are you here all night? Because I can stop back
I see.
after my
Come
appointment.
back
whatever you
down.
want, man.
Okay. No, so I was wondering the Big Bang universe.
The show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Show.
Yeah. Geology isn't a real science.
it's not. I don't care about your rock,
I
dude.
love and hate that so much at the same time. Sorry.
The CIA put rock on the streets. Nothing. I don't want to get into that rabbit hole about the CIA.
I thought
Crack
you did want
rocks.
to. Crack rocks.
Yeah. So the beginning of the universe comes from nothing. Have you ever thought about the possibility that our universe is actually sitting just on the other side of an event horizon of a black hole? So the black holes, the energy being so dense, that's through our universe into existence. And there's universes outside of ours that already exist.
I've thought about this so much.
Grab the mic.
I can't wait to listen because
Yeah.
I have.
Okay, so there's a lot of reasons why it seems like our universe could exist inside of a black hole. Maybe on the outside.
On the
horizon.
inside. So you have the event horizon,
Yeah.
and then on the inside,
Yeah.
where it's not so dense, where mass isn't so dense.
Okay, so here's one aspect of our universe is that we can see about 13.7 billion years from where we are to the outside of the universe in every direction.
And that's not saying there's not more time that
That's
we can
not
see.
saying that
that's what we can understand
that's,
right
that's
now.
what we can. That's what we can see.
Because
The
that's a
reason
big
being-
misconception.
Absolutely. The reason being is that nothing can move faster than the speed of light,
You've never seen my
except for
kicks?
space itself.
Yeah.
Space can move however fast it fucking wants to.
So technically, entropy is faster, or if not equal to the speed of light.
Entropy is the dissipation of energy.
Yeah, but that entropy is what's expanding the universe.
We don't know what is
Yeah.
expanding the universe. That's what dark energy is. That's why we don't know what dark energy is.
I know I'm fucking scared just listening to this.
I mean, I don't. You asked me to get into it.
I know. I
Get
love
into
it. I love it. You're gonna have to. You know what? We're replacing Tim.
I have to listen to this guy in the Chiefs all the time.
So,
Yeah, poor
like,
bastard.
the idea right now is that like physicists in the field are, and I'm not a physicist and I'm not an expert,
Fooled me.
but I am listening to a lot of podcasts. But
If
the
you want it
idea
for one.
is that if you watch, like if you're able to calculate the universe as we can see it, it appears to be flat. And I know that doesn't make sense.
Well, the Earth is flat, Tyler.
No.
So
No. Well.
Well, I get
Don't lose sight of that, because that actually it comes into play.
I know what you're saying, because gravity, if you need to think of space as a sheet that's spread out. And
Yeah,
when you
it's
get
a
a
fabric.
planet, you take the sheet, and if you take a bowling ball, roll it onto the sheet, it compresses down, and you have
I got you.
Yeah.
So it's like
so that's basically just heavy mass, whether that be gas or like solid
Gotcha.
like Earth. So I understand
But
what you're
they're
saying.
Still they're still placing that on a sheet to give you the idea of what a sheet looks like when it bends.
Yeah.
But like you have to somehow visualize a 3D sheet that bends in all directions when something heavy is placed inside it. And by all calculations, when they do it, that this universe that we can see in all fucking 13.7 billion years around us is flat. And that doesn't make sense, because if the Big Bang happened and it's supposed to expand in a spherical shape like we would expect it to, then it would be bent. The only way that we can explain it, as far as the limited ideas that we have right now, is that it's the same way that you go over to a field, maybe here, maybe in Kansas, and everywhere that you look around, it's flat everywhere that you can see, and it's just such a small portion of the universe that you're looking at that it looks flat. But if you were to zoom out farther and farther, that the universe might be a bubble or a spherical shape, a globe.
I'm glad you said bubble, because when you talk about the sheet or everything, if you look at an XY axis, it's kind of going on the X. That kind of gets into the theory of
Dimensions.
The bubble theory of everything stacked up.
Yeah.
Thoughts on
Multiverse.
that? Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
My mind's leaving me. Do you think that? What do you think about that?
What do I think about the multiverse?
Yeah. Do you think it's
I don't know.
happening?
There's a
possible?
calculation that they've done that, like, there's only one way that it works out. There's 11 dimensions. Where's the rest of them? We can't see them. But if you were a stick figure on a page, you wouldn't be able to see the third dimension.
Yeah.
So
It's like being a flea.
yeah.
They understand top and bottom
less even.
of a string. We only understand the top. Yeah.
Yeah. If you see things from a stick person dimension on a piece of page, you see a line. Whatever, whatever shape that takes, it only looks like a line to you. But if you take it from a third perspective, you can see the shape of it. If there's 11 dimensions, then we're just not built for this.
No. And that's
time
why people
might be the fourth dimension itself. So I mean,
but
it sure seems like it.
I would argue time is a man-made construct.
It's relative.
So I get there's
That's
time
been the
that
argument for a long time.
there's time that it's day and night
Yeah.
as we're going around the sun.
Sure.
There's time that the seasons change, but the actual concept of time as we know it is man-made. So for you to say time might be one of the dimensions, yeah, I agree with you, but not in the way that I think we actually understand it at this point.
Yeah, that's fair. I would say that, I mean, we got all we can really comprehend is X, Y, and Z, right? It makes a lot of sense to me that you got those three dimensions and then movement. Time is like those three dimensions moving along.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Conceptually, it makes sense to me.
Because nothing's
It
stagnant.
doesn't make it true. Just
Well,
because
if
it
you-
makes sense to me, that doesn't make it true.
How I pick it makes sense to me because if you think about put Earth on an X and Y axis and relative to the sun, we're moving from the sun, so that axis that we're actually on is moving. So it is moving this way as we are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well,
does that make sense,
100%.
or is that
I mean, it does.
in my head? I'm picturing it
mean,
perfect.
I mean, it does. It's just for all this stuff, it's like, but we don't know. But yeah, I mean, it could.
Yeah, it's because you don't believe.
Different kinds of movement don't necessarily mean different dimensions, but it could. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, yes, we're moving around the sun, and yes, the sun is moving around the center of the galaxy. So whenever you look at an actual simulation of how the Earth moves through space, it's a spiral
Yeah.
of all. Have you seen?
Yeah.
It's amazing, and it really shows you, like, I don't know how small we are.
I am a bit of an outgoing nihilist.
I'm a bit of a nihilist too.
Yeah, so I understand
Fuck,
how
man.
small we are and how little of an impact in the greater scheme of things everything I do on a daily basis actually means. That doesn't mean I'm not very outgoing, but that's how I view things.
100%.
Yeah,
We
it's depressing.
it doesn't have to not matter. Because here's the thing.
You make things matter.
No, hold on. Here's the thing. We might be, if simulation theory, which we haven't even gotten into.
I'm gonna get schooled. I might as well not even.
I'm not gonna start that.
I'm just gonna tell you what I believe.
So far,
See what you think.
in the world, we are the only consciousness that we can prove to be existent.
Yeah.
We
Actually, my thing on that is you can only prove your own.
Philosophically that's 100% true. I can't prove that you exist.
Right.
Well, actually, since
You both could be made up in my brain right
no,
now.
stop doing that. We need to get him out. So you brought up simulation theory.
Different
And you're really into it.
Yeah.
You are in a simulation. We were brought in to pull you out. You need to get out.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Like, seriously, you can get out anytime. Just get out right now.
Well, what button do I need to push?
The X.
Where's the X button?
It's the X button isn't in here. Don't do that. Don't do that.
That's the only X button in the room, brother.
So we're there. You're gonna hit X 3 times. But no, you do need to get out of the simulation. We're your friends from the outside.
All right, so this is you're proposing like Matrix.
Do you take the green pill or the yellow pill?
It's blue or red.
Blue or red, dude?
It's not mine. One's pink.
No, I mean it's just there could be a million fucking civilizations that were ahead of us, and
Or for that matter, that many behind too.
yeah,
That's like at the beginning of Star Wars, everybody gets so fucking bent out of shape because it's a long time ago in a galaxy far away, and they're like, but somehow it's in the future. It's like it's not fucking irrelevant.
It's totally irrelevant. Yeah, you're absolutely not getting
a completely
the picture.
different place. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which I don't know. That cracks me up every time.
You're
Like,
right.
you're willing to sit down and fucking
Suspend
watch the
disbelief
show
for this
Yes, but
whole
then
thing.
that one fucking sentence fucks your whole Which now never mind. I don't want to get down that. I didn't even mean to interrupt. what
We
you guys
had
were
a whole
talking
Star
about.
Wars episode.
I know. This
And
ties
you're
in.
just
Have me back. I want to
Do
talk
what?
about it.
Oh, yeah.
Have me back. I want to talk about it.
have you back a lot.
what are you doing tomorrow?
The fucking. I mean,
He doesn't want to drive back and forth.
That's not my problem.
buy me a hotel room or give me a fucking bed to sleep on.
Well, I got that couch right there.
I don't know. Is this all going in the show?
Yeah. No, I'll cut this.
I don't know. Whatever, man. I'm down to hang out. I have a whole lot of thoughts about space travel and the existential reality of human beings and the lack
I'll
thereof.
get into that.
And fucking how God probably doesn't exist and how we probably existed before we did.
Oh,
There's a
whoa,
lot of
whoa,
shit,
whoa, whoa,
man.
whoa, whoa. I love anthropology. It's my
talk
favorite.
about
It's
it.
my favorite store.
All right. Yes.
No, why are you saying you think we existed before we think we existed?
Well, I just think that that's part of the simulation theory thing, right?
Okay, so we probably need to dive into that. Not today, but probably a different episode.
It's a whole
Okay.
conversation. Yeah.
And you didn't think this would even fill up an hour.
Well, we didn't even
No, I
get
figured
in
we-
a simulation
I
until
I know, but you're still worth
Last
38
10.
minutes on
I
this
know,
one.
but I have to
5
leave
minutes.
in 8
I'm
minutes.
aware. I'm talking to Tyler.
yeah. No, this is my fault. I said that.
I know how to solve this.
No. That's not going to do
Anyway.
anything.
You're mistaking one lead singer for another.
Yeah.
Well,
we should see who's the better.
well, I'll
pisser.
tell you what. After listening to this conversation, I've not seen a big difference.
All right. Let's talk tomorrow, friends. Hey.
Well, we still got a couple minutes. We
I can't out you.
No, because we're gonna migrate downstairs and keep talking. We need to decide what we're gonna do moving forward from here.
I know Boo Cooper is listening to this religiously. She is dying to hear the rest of this episode. I mean, we can end it, but
What
like,
the fuck is Buku?
Boo Cooper? She's
Boo Cooper?
lives in Fairfax.
Boo Cooper.
Although, what's her last name? Cooper.
Leesburg. Yeah, sorry.
Sounds like a Dragon Ball Z thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She is dying to know how this ends, but I guess we'll just leave her on a cliffhanger.
We're gonna have to either. We'll figure it out. Tyler, dude. This is everything I thought it'd be and more. So I appreciate it.
More than I hoped it could possibly be. So.
Yeah, so I guess maybe if you want to, the last minute or two, like, promote yourself, talk about the Tyler Anthony Band, and kind of some of the things you're doing this summer.
All right. Hey, this is Tyler McIntosh.
No,
I am,
Tyler Anthony Band is what you're
This
talking
is
about.
Tyler Anthony Band. I'm trying to mow my backyard.